This tutorial was brought to you thanks to the supporters on the screen. Check out TAPgiles.com to find more Dreams resources, donate to support my work, or engage my services to get private instruction or help on a project one-on-one. Also, when playing multiplayer, there's a setting that comes into play that doesn't make too much difference in single player. So if you go to the camera tab of these controller sensors, you can turn on stay on screen. Most of the time you just leave these off. So there's an off-screen indicator. So with the off-screen indicator on, it's indicating the player color, which is red, and you can see that by the light bar color, and it's showing that they're off-screen like that. And you can have it so that they will automatically die if they're off-screen for a certain amount of time. So if you turn on stay off-screen, and then we go like that, then it starts flashing and then they die, and won't respawn until the other player dies. So if I jump off a cliff, so then they both respawn at the same time, and then that one dies. It looks like, so even though I can't see it, it's not counted as off screen because the camera can still kind of, it's within the camera's scope, it's just hidden by a sculpt. But if I run off over here, then it should die as normal. So with that you can easily make like a level that keeps moving to the right or something, and the one that's lagging behind will snuff it. So if we do that, let's see if they still die. Yeah, so if we turn off the off-screen indicator and leave stay on screen on, then that will still happen, but they won't have an indicator telling them what's going on. And there's adjust off-screen timeout, which by default is 4 seconds. So if we made that 1 second, then they only have 1 second to get back on screen. So now put the indicator on again, and then red is off screen, and then pretty much instantly dies. So that's how you adjust that. So stay on screen is what kills it just kills the controller sensor. So even if I remove any wires going into die, I'll remove that one as well, it should still have this output saying that it's dead because it internally decided that it died because it was off screen. So I'll use this to test what's going on there. So this text box will appear while the controller sensor is dead. Plug that in there. So run away, and then they're off screen for some amount of time, and now they're dead, but they're still there. But because the controller sensor is counted as dead, it's not part of the camera's looking at it. The camera can just ignore it because it's no longer a live possessed controller. So normally that just wires into respawn, and that's all that happens. Respawn means that puppet dies and exactly the same puppet is kind of emitted or spawned somewhere in the scene, whether that's the original place or the last checkpoint they're at. So let's have a checkpoint. So there's a checkpoint, and there's another checkpoint. So if I go over here to one checkpoint, over here, and then die, the other puppets still live, so the other controller can still move this puppet around. But if this puppet now dies as well, without going through any checkpoints, they'll both spawn at whatever the last checkpoint was that any of the players went past. So there's no sense of the checkpoint that's furthest along in the scene or something, because that could be taken in any way. But it's the last one that any of the puppets went through, or any of the possessed objects went through. So if I go through a checkpoint over there, that should do it. And then that one dies. And then I'll jump off a cliff. And then they'll both respawn at that other checkpoint that we had. And for multiplayer there's some special options, such as delay before respawn and delay next respawn. So if I give it 2 seconds of delay before respawn, and for demonstration purposes I will put currently active into glow so that it glows a bit. This delay before respawn means before the first thing respawns. So this checkpoint is now active, that one dies, and then that one dies, and it will be 2 seconds before the red one appears. There we go. And if just the green one dies, then the green one will appear after that 2 seconds. The other setting is delay next respawn. So if we do that, then after any puppets respawn at this checkpoint, no puppets are allowed to respawn until 2 seconds, at least 2 seconds later. So you might have some cool animation or something, and it needs to delay when things actually respawn so that they can all animate nicely and come out of it or something. So got that checkpoint, and that one dies, and then we can kill the other one as well. Then the green one appears, and then it waits at least 2 seconds for the red one to appear. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to get 5 hours of tutorials early for $3. Here's a preview of what you can learn if you choose to become a supporter.